As promised, I am reading from Zora Neale Hurston's The Complete Stories. This story is called Uncle Monday. Now, this isn't the entire story, but this is a part of the story which I felt was pretty eventful. Here it goes. They say that Uncle Monday has a singing stone, and that is why he knows everything without being told. Whether he has the stone or not, nobody thinks of doubting his power as a hoodoo man. He is feared, but sought when life becomes too powerful for the powerless. Mary Ella Shaw backed out on Joe Nathan Moss the day before the wedding was to have come off. Joe Nathan had even furnished the house and bought rations. His people, her people, everybody tried to make her marry the boy. He loved her so. And besides, he had put out so much of his little cash to fix for the marriage. But Mary Ella just wouldn't. She had seen Caddy Bruton, and she was one of the kind who couldn't keep her heart still after her eye had wandered. So Joe Nathan's mama went to see Uncle Monday. He said, since she's the kind of woman that lets her mind follow her eye, we'll have to let the snake bite cure itself. You go on home. Never no man will keep her. She can grab the world full of men, but she'll never keep one any longer than from one full moon to the other. 15 years have passed. Mary Ella has been married 4 times. She was a very pretty girl, and men just kept coming. But no one has ever stayed with her longer than the 28 days. Besides her 4 husbands, no telling how many men she has shacked up with for a few weeks at a time. She has 8 children by as many different men, but still no husband. John Wesley Hogan was another driver of sharp bargains in love. By his own testimony and experience, all women from 8 to 80 were his meat. But the woman who was sharp enough to make him marry her wasn't born, and her mama was dead. They couldn't frame him, and they couldn't scare him. Mrs. Bradley came to him nevertheless about her dinky. She called him out from his workplace and said, John Wesley, you know I'm a widow woman, and I ain't got no husband to go to the front for me. So I reckon I got to do the talking for me and my child. I come in the humblest way I know how to ask you to go ahead and marry my child before her name is painted on the signpost of scorn. If it had not made John Wesley so mad, it would have made funny to him. So he asked her scornfully, Woman, what you take me for? You better get out of my face with that mess. How you reckon I know who Dinky been fooling around with? Don't try to come that mess over me. I been all over the north. I ain't none of your fool. You must think I'm Big Boy. They killed Big Boy shooting after Fat Sam, so there ain't no more fools in the world. Ha ha! All the women I done seen. I'll tell you like the monkey told the elephant. Don't bull me, Big Boy. If you want Dinky to get married off so bad, go grab one of these country clowns. I ain't your man. Tain't no use you going around to the high sheriff neither. I got witness to prove Dinky know more than I do. Mrs. Bradley didn't bother with the sheriff. All he could do was to make John Wesley marry Dinky. But by the time the interview was over, that wasn't what the stricken mother wanted. So she waited till dark and went over to Uncle Monday. Everybody says you don't have to explain things to Uncle Monday. Just go there, and you will find that he is ready for you when you arrive. So he set Mrs. Bradley down at the table, facing a huge mirror hung against the wall. She says he had a loaded pistol and a huge dirk lying on the table before her. She looked at both of the weapons, but she could not decide which one she wanted to use. Without a word, he handed her a gourd full of water, and she took a swallow. As soon as the water passed over her tongue, She seized the gun. He pointed towards the looking glass. Slowly, the form of John Wesley formed in the glass and finally stood as vivid as life before her. She took careful aim and fired. She was amazed that the mirror did not shatter, but there was a loud report, a cloud of bluish smoke, and the figure vanished. On the way home, Brazel told her that John Wesley had dropped dead, and Mr. Watson had promised to drive over to Orlando in the morning to get a coffin for him. Wow, listen to that story. And that's the end of my segment about Uncle Monday out of Zora Neale Hurston's The Complete Stories. Thank you.